Thank you, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of this conference. We are really excited to get to day 2 and to be now. We're going to do a little bit of work later and go into the breakaway groups in a couple of hours. But before we do that, we've got one more, our fourth and last key point, Agus Sudibyo from Indonesia, who's going to give us a really good introduction to what's happening in Indonesia. Then we've got the panel on global developments in Asia. In developments of the global south in Asia. And then we've got the global developments panel. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Agus Sudibyo.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for GIBS, especially Mr. Michael, for inviting me and my friend from Indonesia to participate in this important conference. It's really nice to meet with all of you, the colleagues from different countries, and we have the opportunity for sharing the experience and experiment also on the advocacy of media sustainability in different contexts. And I would like to share the Indonesian experiment on the advocacy of publisher rights. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know that mass media is always a duality between economic institution and social institution that must be go and hand in hand. As economic institution, mass media must be stable and sustained, so have the power and the energy to carry out their social function properly, to serving public right to information and controlling the political power. But the problem now is that the media as economic institution today in every country, I think, facing great pressure, the unfair business competition system where the media industry structure is monopolized by global digital platform companies. In the context of Indonesian today, the unhealthy monopolistic business structure, the unhealthy and monopolistic business structure in the media industry happen in 3 different levels. First, around 80% of news distribution in Indonesia is controlled by Google and Facebook. This duopoly also control more than 70% of Indonesian digital advertising revenue, and they also monopolize the management, the utilization of user behavioral data based on their use of publisher-owned contents. So, in this context, since 2 years ago, some guys in media community in Indonesia set up what we call the Taskforce of Media Sustainability. I was a coordinator of this Taskforce, and on behalf of Indonesian Press Council, we take initiative to drafting, discussing, benchmarking, and processing the new regulation, the Indonesian publisher right version that we call digital platform liability to support good journalism. Referring to EU publisher right and also the Australian News Media Bargaining Codes, this bill, this publisher right that we propose not to design to become a hostile gesture toward global digital platform or to undermine their contribution, their positive contribution. Rather, it initiative to create mutual value exchange or reciprocally beneficial relationship between the news publisher and the digital platform. This publisher right that we propose set up the obligation of digital platform to negotiate in a good faith with Indonesian publisher right regarding the economy value of publishers' content that they use, fair and transparent profit sharing in digital advertising schemes involving both parties, and sharing of user data generated from the use of publisher-owned content by digital platform. We are aware that actually only the first negotiation object is within the bounds of possibility, but we want try to aiming higher in this context by proposing the second and the third negotiation object. The publisher right that we propose also obligate digital platform to avoid the distribution or reduce the distribution and monetization of journalistic content that is not in accordance with the principle of good journalism or the principle of media ethics. Second, notify any changes to algorithm and other technical system that have an impact in the publisher content distribution process. So the algorithm is also one important thing that we try to regulate in this regulation. Today, the Indonesian publisher right currently in being discussed in the level of government internal scope, and expected can be ratified in the end of this year. But the current situation is like what happened in Canada in this month. Representative or global platform tend to reject the publisher right. They lobbied my government to make some changes in the publisher right that we propose that weaken the position of local publishers. They also approach some local publisher, and offering some form of cooperation is like a compensation if they agree to reject the publisher right. They also objected to the ratification of publisher right, but did not provide an alternative solution how the digital platform monopoly can be kept in check, or how to realize the principle of media accessibility. Recently, they even dare to explicitly express their rejection and threaten to boycott, like in Canada and in Australia. But there is a hope. The commitment of the government of Indonesia for the publisher right ratification is being tested now. Likewise, the solidity of local publisher Indonesia in dealing with the intimidation and persuasion by global platform also need to be proven. But under such situation, the advocacy in the political process for publisher right in Indonesia is keeping going. And the situation in this week is promising when our government conduct series of meetings to finalize the draft involving media association, journalist association, press council, also the representative of digital platform. And if we looking what happened in the last days in Indonesia, maybe the Indonesian publisher right possibly will be passed next month. maybe in the same day with the Indonesia Independence Day anniversary. So, the important thing that I need to emphasize based on Indonesian experience that facing the monopolistic power of global digital platform, we cannot fight alone. I think solidity, collaboration, cooperation are the keys. For example, in the region of Southeast Asia, now we are currently preparing the Southeast Asia caucus of media organization to advocacy of publisher right. So, I really appreciate and support the idea, the effort to build collaboration, also networking between global South countries in order to realize the publisher right, the media sustainability principle that I believe we all want to achieve through this conference. Thank you.
Any questions for Agus? We have a few. First, Pam. Mike. Okay, so have you got one, Pam? Okay, Tidiane, go first, and then Pam over here.
Yeah, my name is Tijan from Senegal. Thank you for the presentation. I think it's great. I don't know, because at some point you mentioned that the global companies are threatening to boycott. I don't know whether if people here, probably, I mean, some of the people might be aware, that I think it's their regular tactics or strategies whenever people won't publish. Yesterday I started saying something, but for the sake of time I could not explain it further. In France, where it happened, the law was voted in 2019. They threatened to boycott, but the law was voted, but ultimately they ended up signing because there was pressure from the publishers. So it was more of a comment just to say, probably people, and yesterday I also heard from other participants here, that if a country is 2 million people, I think we should not think like that. It's not 2 million people in a single country. They need that market. If the platforms are there, it means they need it. So that was a little comment, and probably you can react to it if you want. How would you, or how is the government is likely to behave when they boycott? That's the question. Thank you.
Okay, and then Pam Fit.
Thank you for such an excellent presentation, and congratulations on your efforts. My question is, how do you define good journalism, and do you have an association or some legal framework that registers the good media houses that are going to be part of this initiative?
Okay. Hi. Oh, sorry, I was too excited.
Yeah.
Hi, Nelson Yap here. First of all, congratulations. I know I've been following what's happening in Indonesia for a long time, and I think as the world's third largest democracy, this is such an impressive move. Hopefully pave the way for other ASEAN nations to follow. Particularly, as Hamadu said, in the smaller countries, I think it is even more important that the digital tech platforms support democracy in those places, or support free media in those places like the Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and my own country, Timor-Leste, where I came from. So thank you very much. That's all. It's just a comment.
Okay. Do you want to speak? Oh, no. Okay, so I think we maybe take those 3 questions unless there's one more. France, sorry, last one.
Can you say something about the involvement of small publishers, new startups, and broadcasters in this initiative?
Great. Agus?
Okay.
Over to you.
Yeah. I agree that threaten to boycott is kind of SOP, standard operating procedure for Google and Facebook when some country try to regulate their operation. I think Australia, Canada, and I think also EU give so many facts about this. So the important thing is how we make a good coordination with my government, with my parliament. So don't to push strongly to my government, to parliament, when we discuss about some article in this regulation. So we need to moderate our aspiration. If when we discuss about publisher right or news media bargaining code with my parliament, with the government, and the other case is the solidity of media organization, media association. To be honest, it's not easy to make a solidity in Indonesia. Also, we have because we have many organization, media association or journalist association, and they have their own aspiration, their own opinion, and we need to, I think, 2 years to make a kind of harmonization about some important articles in publisher right, and how to identify or how to identify the good journalism. In our publisher right that we propose, we use the main criteria. The good journalism is journalism that in accordance with the code media ethic or journalism ethic and our press law. This is the main criteria. And how the position of small media, it's also one important issue in Indonesia in dealing with the publisher right. So the main actors in Indonesia in processing publisher right is Press Council, Indonesian Press Council. Maybe it's different with other countries. When Press Council have minimal rules in the publisher right process, but in Indonesia the main actor is Press Council, and there are 7 media association that became Press Council constituent in Indonesia, including 2 or 3 media association that their member majority is small media. So the role of Press Council and media association is very important to make sure that this publisher right not only compatible for big media but also for small media or local media. This is a very tricky issue, but we always to make sure that small media, local media is also important constituent of this regulation. I think.
I've got one question from Lacina who wants to ask. You'll ask it in French. If you've got your headset, Agus, if you could just put on your headset. Okay. Okay, let's see. That's in.
Merci beaucoup, Agus. Alors, ma question est relative
Not getting.
au journalisme.
Just, are you getting at the translation? Oh, I'm not. Okay, it's fine. Okay, we go. Go. Sorry. Go.
Ma question est relative donc au journalisme de qualité. Chez nous, par exemple, nous avons adopté une charte pour le journalisme du web, donc le journalisme en ligne. Je voudrais savoir si en Indonésie, le droit de publication intègre cela. Est-ce qu'il y a une charte que les journalistes, les éditeurs sont appelés à respecter? Et en cas donc de non-respect de cette charte, est-ce qu'il y a un mécanisme qui est mis en place pour le contrôle et infliger éventuellement des sanctions? Et pour terminer, est-ce qu'il existe un cadre d'échange entre les organisations des médias en Indonésie avec le Parlement? Parce que chez nous, en Côte d'Ivoire, nous avons encore ce problème. Il n'y a pas de cadre existant avec les parlementaires. Parce que très souvent, ils ne comprennent pas les enjeux de notre secteur, en effet de pouvoir défendre ou peut-être même initier des lois. Et ça même d'ailleurs une occasion de lancer un appel à Michael prochainement pour ces gens d'assises. Je pense que ce serait bien d'inviter quelques parlementaires. Par exemple, chez nous en Côte d'Ivoire, le président de la commission en charge des questions de presse. Donc, avec ce genre de rencontres, il peut avoir une large vue et une bonne compréhension des enjeux et initier des lois. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe my friend also can help us to answer this question. But I think we need to separate the press law in one side and the publisher right in other side. In the Indonesian press law, we have a mechanism how to solve the dispute about the news. And Indonesian Press Council already give the mechanism how to settle if some guy in the parliament and the government not really happy with the news of publisher, they can go to press council. And in other side, this is important issue dealing with publisher right. Actually, honestly, we will pass Indonesian publisher right in the level of presidential decrees, not in the national law, because next year we have national election, and it is hard to push government, parliament to ratify this in the national level. So in the short term, we push it in the presidential decrees, and after election, we will try to upgrade it in the national level. So honestly, the one weakness in this Indonesian publisher right now is about penalty, about sanction, because it's not really strong. The penalty, the sanction based on presidential decrees. This is and the problem that we facing now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Agus. I think we're going to maybe have some bit more detail in the panel that's going to follow. So if everyone could just give Agus a great round of applause.